President Trump leading a countdown for the lighting of the national Christmas tree tonight. First Lady Melania Trump hit the switch to illuminate the decked-out spruce in President's Park that is just south of the White House. A number of country stars came to perform along with Pershing's Own, the U.S. Army Band, and it is freezing in D.C. tonight. Looks beautiful. All right, First Lady Melania Trump is speaking out after days of criticism over her Christmas decorations. Correspondent Ellison Barber has more from the First Lady.
For the second time since moving into the White House, First Lady Melania Trump unveiled Christmas decorations. And for the second time, the decorations were mocked and turned into internet memes, comparing the decorations to everything from The Handmaid's Tale to Stanley Kubrick's classic horror film The Shining to a car wash. There were some write-ups pointing out the Twitter backlash. Media outlets like USA Today, Time, and HuffPost. Today, the First Lady responded during an event at Liberty University.
They would like to portray different stories and focus on different unimportant stuff, really. And I'm here to shine the light on important stuff and talk about the things that I can help.
Ms. Trump spoke about the decorations after she was asked about those criticisms.
Everybody has a different taste. I think they look fantastic.
But she traveled to Virginia to speak about something else.
The addiction can begin with something as innocent as injury. It could be a sports injury or from some kind of an accident.
Opioid abuse is one of the three pillars in the First Lady's Be Best initiative. The other two pillars are well-being and social media. The First Lady has come under fire for the initiative, with some saying it's hypocritical. After all, her husband is well known for his tweets and using them to aggressively punch back at critics. When I spoke with the First Lady's office, they said her comments about the decorations speak for themselves, but they also told me they aren't particularly concerned with the criticisms. One of the First Lady's top aides told me the critiques are coming from what she described as left-wing media. She said the decorations are beautiful and they're just excited for the public to take part in a special tradition. Shannon?
All right, Ellison, thank you very much. Now, Melania is not the only Trump woman in the spotlight tonight. First daughter, presidential advisor Ivanka Trump, is defending her use of a private email account, saying it cannot be compared to what happened with then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and her emails in a private server. Time now for tonight's Power Panel to debate both of these big stories. Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall, Fox News political analyst Gianno Caldwell, and White House correspondent for the Daily Caller, Sagar Anjeti. Thank you all for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I want to read what Vanity Fair said today, or said this week about these Christmas decorations. The headline was, Melania Trump's White House Christmas has a touch of menace once again. Goes on to say, if the sense of menace blowing through the ornamental branches last year came from what we didn't know about Melania, this year that feeling comes from what we do know. Gianno.
Oh my God, we gotta take her to jail because this is so horrific. First and foremost, these decorations were used to honor military families, and as I've read the reporting, a lot of these military families actually participated in the decorations. I think this is another case of anybody that's close to Trump, whether they are involved in politics at all or not, are targets. And this is another problematic case of that. People have been attacking Melania Trump since she entered the White House, and this is something that I think we should definitely back from, and certainly make mention of the hypocrisy here.
Okay, Dan Gaynor of the Media Research Center says this: according to the juvenile style mavens that dominate the lefty media, Melania's Christmas style is somehow spooky or deeply haunted. Compare that to how the Washington Post described Michelle Obama as a, quote, pro in dressing up the place, whose decorations delivered her own steady recognition of military service. Leslie, double standard?
Well, I don't think there's a double standard, Shannon, because there's certainly been enough criticism, and continues to be, of former First Ladies Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton. Unfortunately and sadly, and I don't agree with it, it seems to come with the territory of being First Lady. If people don't like on the left your husband on the right, or vice versa, they attack the First Lady. I want to go on the record and say I actually like the red Christmas trees. I'm a minimalist. I feel they're a little bit modern and funky. And quite frankly, we really shouldn't be attacking any First Lady for decorating the White House, because it's petty and there are much more important issues to discuss.
I mean, Sagar, listen, there are so many women's magazines out there. Like, I can't even read most of them anymore, because I don't care if it's left or right. Like, I just don't want to read politics if I'm looking for like lip gloss and evening gowns. I mean, but these magazines fawn over the left and just deride the right all the time. I mean, Melania Whether you are left, right, or center, I mean, physically a stunningly beautiful, fashionable woman. And I saw recently a list of the 100 most fashionable in the world. She did not even make the top 100, Sagar.
Yeah, you're right. This is a little bit out of my league here. But in my discussion with some fellow culture correspondents, what they tell me is it is a little baffling that you have a former supermodel as first lady who hasn't graced the cover or any of these best dressed lists when Michelle Obama was actually turned into a fashion icon under the Obama administration. Overall, Melania has said in the past that she thinks she's one of the most bullied people in the world, and I broadly tend to agree with that.
I mean, people mocked her for saying that, Sagar.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know that they did, but this is a perfect example. She's trying to shine a light on, on infants who are born addicted to opioids because of the choices of their parents, and we're talking about red Christmas trees, and I think it's a sad time whenever Christmas decorations are becoming part of political discourse, but that's where we are in this country right now.
I want you all to weigh in too as well about the news that Ivanka Trump had used a lot of personal email back and forth discussing things regarding travel and being contacted by White House officials and others. Here's what she said on Good Morning America.
So everything has been preserved, everything's been archived. There just is no equivalency between the two things. My emails have not been deleted, nor was there anything of substance, nothing confidential.
But Gianno, I'll start with you. I mean, people say, listen, this is something that the president has hammered Hillary Clinton on for years. An unforced error?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I think a lot of us love Ivanka Trump. We think she's poised. I think she's graceful, 100%. Now, these are a couple of things that we got to keep in mind. No, this was not the same as Hillary Clinton. No, there was no classified material that we are aware of that was on these emails. And it was also said that she used this email to transition into the job. So when I hear that, I'm saying, oh, okay, it kind of makes sense. But what I do realize is, generally speaking, when there's a transition taking place, you get a transition government email, which you should utilize to do this government business until you get an official White House email. So knowing what President Trump and candidate Trump did in terms of Hillary Clinton, how he made mention of our emails on a consistent basis, this is certainly something she should have never done, and I'm sure it's something that she won't do any further.
Well, Cheryl Atkinson, an investigative reporter, tweeted this. She says, I'm not equating Ivanka's email to Hillary establishing a private server for all government business, destroying emails after subpoenaed, etc. But for those talking about possible charge against Ivanka, wasn't that matter all settled? Since the Hillary decision did not to prosecute, even if Ivanka or Trump were to go so far as Hillary did and set up a private server, mishandled classified info, destroyed subpoena emails, we've determined that that's not a crime. Or is it only a crime if it's not Hillary? Quickly, Leslie, then Sagar.
I would say that we could ask the same question to say, is it only a crime if it is Hillary? I didn't hear chance, and I don't hear chance of lock her up, although some people may do that on Twitter regarding Ivanka. Look, she works in the White House. Her father is president. She works for the president. She's part of the presidential staff. Approximately 80% of what comes by her desk is classified, and with all the hullabaloo that her father, his campaign administration have made, and those on the right, she should have known better. It was reckless, just like it was when Hillary Clinton
Quick final word, Sagar.
Yeah, we may not be hearing lock her up, but we are definitely hearing subpoena out of the House Democrats. And unfortunately, this is an unforced error by Ms. Trump, and the House Democrats are going to have a field day. They're going to be subpoenaing these records. They're going to use it for all of its worth, and it's going to be a headache for the White House for a long time to come.
All right, Sagar, Gianno, and Leslie, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you,
I'll be
Shannon.
checking in on your decorations.